Hello children, welcome back to my channel. You are watching Globe Tutorials. This is Jagan. Okay, so already in the part 6 we discussed about the importance of Himalayas. In the part 7, in this video we are going to discuss about Indo-Gangetic Plain, formation of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Okay, so let us begin our topic. In the previous class, we discussed about geographical background. In that video, we came to understand that a large shallow basin was created due to coalition with the Peninsular Patch with the Eurasian Plate. So at that time, that later what happened, the shallow basin. That means that shallow basin was created nearly 20 million years ago. Okay, there 20 million years ago onwards. What happened? The shallow basin was gradually filled by the sediments deposited by the Himalayan rivers like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, and their tributaries. So in that way, what happened? Flat plains were formed. These flat plains only we are calling as northern plains. Okay, that means here the northern plains are formed by the interaction of the three major river systems of the Himalayas: Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, and their tributaries. Okay, so here now let us discuss. Okay, so here mainly these rivers formed deposited alluvial soils. Okay, so now let us discuss here Indo-Gangetic Plain broadly categorized into three parts. They are known as eastern part, central part, western part. Okay, so this is western part, this is central part, and this is eastern part. Okay, so here western part is formed by the Indus and its tributaries, and central part is formed by the Ganga and its tributaries, and eastern part is formed by the Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Okay, now let us discuss eastern part. Okay, western part. Here western part is formed by first line on western part and heading raskon. Okay, so western part is formed by the Indus and its tributaries. Okay, Indus river has 5 tributaries. Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. Okay, what are the 5 tributaries of the Indus river? Means Chenab, Jhelum, Beas, Sutlej, Ravi. Okay, these 5 rivers. Okay, these are the 5 important rivers of the 5 important tributaries of the Indus river. Okay, do you know these are most of these rivers are flowing in the Punjab and Haryana, later enters into the Pakistan. Okay, here Indus river also majorly flowing only in one and only state of India, that is in the Jammu Kashmir, later it enters into the Pakistan. So that's why here majority of the western plain is formed located in the Pakistan only. Very minor portion is located in the states of Punjab and Haryana. Okay, and here in this region dome features is common. Okay, so dome features of land is common in the western part of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. What is called dome is very important. One more question. What is called dome is the fertile land between two rivers. The fertile land between two rivers is called as a dome. Okay, so the fertile land between two rivers is called as a dome. Okay, dome dominant features. Dome features of land is common in the Punjab and Haryana in the western portion of the Indus Plain. Okay, so now let us discuss central plain. Okay, central plain is formed by the mainly, note on the heading central plain. Okay, central plain is mainly formed by the Ganga river and its tributaries. Here western part is mainly located in the states of mainly Punjab and Haryana, some portion in the Jammu Kashmir also. Here mainly central part is located between two rivers known as Ghaggar river and Tista river. Ghaggar river and Tista river. Ghaggar river and Tista river. Between these two rivers, central part is located. Central part is formed by the Ganga river and its tributaries. Ganga river has 2 types of tributaries: left bank tributaries and right bank tributaries. Left bank tributaries are flowing from the north to south and forming the plain, and here south bank tributaries rising in the Peninsular Plateau, flowing towards the north direction, and forming the Ganga plain. Okay, so in that way Ganga plain is it is also known as Ganga plain, mainly located in the portion of West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Okay, so central part is mainly located in the 3 states. Okay, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Okay, so this is about Ganga plain or central part. Okay, now let us discuss eastern part. Okay, eastern part is mainly formed by the Brahmaputra river. Okay, Brahmaputra river, and this eastern part is mainly located in the Assam state. Okay, it is mainly located in the Assam state, and here mainly it is formed by the Brahmaputra river. Okay, so this is about Indo-Gangetic plain. So now let us discuss some important terms related to the Indo-Gangetic plain. Okay, up to this topic only, this is about Indo-Gangetic plain. Now let us discuss about remaining portion. Okay, remaining important two words are here, Babar and Terai. So let us discuss about Babar and Terai. So here what is called Babar? Here what is called Babar means, here Babar means here Himalayan rivers from the, like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, these are when they are flowing, when they start flowing from the Himalayas, and when they start enters into the towards the plains region, they will bring silt and pebbles. Okay, this silt, gravel, pebbles. Okay, pebbles means like small stones and sometimes big stones also. Due to Himalayan, they are as they are moving from the mountains to plains, with the great force they will flow. So that's why they can have the power to push these rocks also. In that way, that pebbles also will move forward, and finally these pebbles, small stones, big stones, all are deposited along the foothills, parallel to the foothills of the Shivaliks. Okay, this feature only called as a Babar. Okay, Babar. Okay, the width of the Babar. Okay, in a narrow belt they are depositing 8 to 16 kilometers of width. They are depositing. This feature is only called as a Babar. Babar is in porous in nature. Porous means small holes. Between the rocks there is small holes are there. Through these holes also water will flow, and that means here here water, while flowing the water sometimes went under the Babar also. Again this water finally reappears at the end of the Babar feature. Okay, that means here there it will form small streams and small rivers. Okay, the small streams and rivers which flow through underground the Babar again reappear at the end of the Babar region, and here they form swampy and marshy region. The swampy and marshy region only called as a Terai. Okay, Babar. Okay, so this is known here. What is called Babar means? Babar means here Himalayan rivers while flowing down carries sediments, pebbles, gravel, sand. Okay, these all deposited in a narrow belt along the foothills of Shivaliks. In a narrow belt 8 to 16 kilometers of width parallel to the Shivaliks. This feature is known as a Babar. Babar is in porous in nature. Okay, so next to Terai. What is Terai means here? These rivers which are flowing through underground of Babar again reappear at the end of the Babar region, and at the end of the Babar the small rivers streams which are flowing underground the Babar will form marsh and swampy region. The swampy and marshy region is called as a Terai. The swampy and marshy region is called as a Terai. Okay, do you know at the time of partition of our country, most of the people came and settled in the Terai region and converted the forest land into agriculture land. Okay, so in that way presently Terai region is inhabited by the farmers. Okay, so thank you. We will discuss. Okay, this is about Indo-Gangetic plain and Babar and Terai. Very important one more question. Okay, we will discuss remaining part 8. In the part 8 we will discuss about Peninsular Plateau. Okay, part 8 we will discuss about Peninsular Plateau. Thank you for watching.